Hello everyone, I welcome you all. Friends, space enthusiasts, and fellow explorers. My name is Commander Josh Hawkins, and I'm broadcasting this message to you. I set off to explore our Milky Way Galaxy just over 6 months ago now, and at the time of sending you this broadcast, I'm currently here, some 36,649 light-years from home. From my current location in the 3 kpc arm, over halfway across the galaxy, home is hidden behind billions of stars and seemingly endless clouds of dust and gas. And at the time of sending you this broadcast, this is the view from my cockpit. Sitting over 500,000 light seconds away from the nearest star at the roof of our Milky Way Galaxy. From this distance, the galactic band occupies my entire field of view and offers an unparalleled perspective of the incredible size of our galaxy. This system represents the furthest I've ever been from the bubble, and as of this morning, I've decided it will also be the last system I explore before I turn around and head for home. Though I've decided to cut my expedition short of its original goal, I can't help but feel that there's still an entire journey ahead of me. The route home will be longer and more treacherous, as I intend to travel to the core first, before returning home. With billions of unexplored systems still ahead of me, who knows what wonders or adventures we'll discover as you join me in the experience of traveling thousands of light years across the Milky Way Galaxy. Welcome to Exploring the Milky Way Galaxy, Part 15. When I first set out into the black, I knew the galaxy would be full of excitement and thrills, but I thought those things would come in the form of rare stars, never before seen planetary formations, or even new life forms, and I thought I had prepared myself for anything. I outfitted the best sensors money could buy, I personally installed equipment to record and log my journey, and I armed my ship to the teeth, just in case. But the past 6 months have turned out to be much more than just an exploration mission. I found myself buried neck-deep in a conspiracy, involved in a deep space rescue mission for the daughter of Dr. Arcanon, and came face-to-face with a paid assassin 32,000 light-years from home. With all the excitement, it almost felt like I hadn't even left the bubble. Now that several weeks have gone by with no surprises, no ships tracking me, and no having to unfreeze someone from cryosleep, I find myself missing the company. Okay, granted, having a guest on board in cryostasis doesn't make for the best conversation, but it certainly made the ship feel a lot less empty. I know there's so much more out there to see, and I've spent the past few weeks jumping from system to system peacefully, alone with my thoughts, logging, recording, and cataloging, but it felt different somehow. I had unfinished business back in the bubble now, and the longer I wait, the harder it'll be to wrap that up. The thought of traveling back to the bubble, like a splinter at the back of my mind, but I guess that's what happens when you want to hunt down the person responsible for trying to have you killed. Having worked as a bounty hunter, I often took assassination contracts, and I imagined there would be a lot of people that might feel the same way about me if I'd been sloppy at my job. I'm a great combat pilot for sure, and they may have all been scumbags, but I always got as much information from my employer about who my target was first, before engaging them, just so I didn't get in over my head. The assassin who attacked me seemed to be competent enough. Managing to track me halfway across the galaxy undetected is no easy task, which leads me to believe that whoever hired them either didn't anticipate me being there or wanted to keep the information they had about me to themselves. When I let that assassin escape, I figured he would run back to the bubble and let them know I was coming. If you're not afraid to get stung a few times, the quickest way to get rid of a hornet's nest is to just smash it with a big ol' rock. And that's exactly what I intend on doing. With enough hornets buzzing around, it shouldn't be too hard to find the source. It wasn't an easy decision to make, though, turning around. And I feel that I'll be leaving a big part of me out here in the depths of space while I tie up these loose ends. But it's a decision that had to be made. I knew the trip to Beagle Point would take me another couple months, and the trip home even longer. If I stayed my course for the opposite side of the galaxy, the trail might go cold, and I won't have any way to pick it back up. That's just not a risk I can take. I have to strike while the iron is hot. And I'll still have enough time to take the scenic route through the core, since there's no way that Anaconda will beat me home now, with all the holes I put in him. He's lucky he's even alive, but dead pilots don't talk, so I had no choice but to let him go. I mean, I doubt he would have spilled the beans to me. A top-8 assassin willing to travel halfway across the galaxy is ready to die at any moment. They don't care about anything but the next contract, and all they spend their money on is better outfitting for their ship to be more efficient at what they do. They don't have a family waiting for them to get home. In fact, most of them don't even have a home. Many were orphans, like me, never knowing their parents, growing up as part of the system, teased and outcast by their peers. It's not hard to see why a job in space becomes appealing when nobody on your planet seems to care. And there's no shortage of companies looking to hire space pilots. The mining operations are run by a lot of shady characters, and it's easy to slide in with the wrong people when the pay is that good. But despite my own hardships as a kid, my moral compass always pointed true north. I wonder if I got that from my biological parents. I don't know why they left me, but I like to imagine that it was because they had no choice. Times are tough on some of the colony planets, and not everyone can afford to have children with the constant food shortages. Maybe something happened to them. Every so often the outer colonies would get raided, so maybe they were killed. The only thing that I know is that whoever left me at the orphanage signed the initials GH on the form. I assume H is for Hawkins, but the G? I mean, could have been either one of them. Or maybe a relative. It doesn't matter now anyhow. It's so far in the past and they never came back, so I don't think about it much. But maybe one day I'll find out who they were, or what they looked like. I guess it would be just nice to know where I came from. I gotta tell you, this squeak system sure has come in handy. Being able to get Galnet updates has been great. I thought for sure I'd have no idea what was going on when I got back home, but look at this. That crazy cyborg Jack thought he could jump his station to Beagle Point. Been following the updates and I thought for sure he was a goner, but apparently he dropped out of witch space in the Eol Prue sector, some 20,000 light years from the bubble. I can't believe he even made it that far, the crazy bastard. Too bad he's quite literally on the opposite side of the core from me. It'd be too far of a detour just to drop in for a bottle of Jack's Quinention still, but once I take care of business, maybe I'll head around the other side of the core and say hi, for old time's sake. Plus, he still owes me for taking care of those Tapertian slave traders. Yeah, you hear that, Jack? Doubt you're listening to this, but if you are, I didn't forget what you promised me. I'm gonna come around and collect on that promise one of these days. She better still be in good shape when I get there, not all dinged up from your crazy station jumping. And just last week, I received a message from Bowen the Kotok informing me that he and Julian returned Commander Shannon Day home safely. They were escorted through the bubble by the members of Iridium Wing. Worked with a couple of those guys back in my bounty hunting days. Winter Charm and Xavier, if I recall. Yeah, great pilots, and I'm sure Bowen and Julian were in good hands with them. I really commend those two on their bravery, putting their lives on the line like that to help save a stranger. They had no deep space exploration experience, and yet they were willing to risk it all because they knew it was the right thing. Maybe when all this is over, I'll look them up. It'd be nice to have friends like that. I haven't made many friends in my lifetime. I always found it hard to open up to others, so I never let myself get close to anyone. Friends were few and far in between, and hard to maintain, with me taking on different jobs here and there, always on the move. Space called out to my introverted nature. It invited me with the promise of being free of people, free of the rules of society, to just fly amongst the stars with only the beauty of the void in my thoughts. But there was always someone on the comms, always a voice telling me what to do next. Hey Hawkins, scan this sector. Hawkins, go check the ring of that third planet. Hey Hawkins, make sure that scumbag doesn't hurt anyone again. Yeah, I got the job done, but I mostly kept to myself. In a way, I find it liberating sending these broadcasts off into the galaxy. I was never able to put my thoughts into words standing face to face with someone. I worried too much about how they'd react to whatever I was saying. Did I say something wrong? Did I insult them? Was I funny enough? It's exhausting having to think about these things all the time. Worrying about how others perceive me, trying so hard just to fit in, failing. Finally, out here I can be myself. No one giving me orders, no schedule to keep, no problems. Yeah, okay, well, maybe not so much on that last one, but it seems like my attempt to escape society was unsuccessful. No matter how far I go, it catches up to me. Oh yeah, I've been tweaking the new modifications I made to my sensors a few weeks ago. That alarm you just heard is synced to the long-range high-wake sensor array, which is now capable of detecting any ship jumping into or out of which space within 100 light-years, a 10-fold increase. I'm sure I could still get more range out of it, but I'm a bit limited by the capabilities of my ship's computer. I've got the most recent hardware, but the software just wasn't made to process this amount of data. Maybe when I get back to the bubble, I'll look into a software upgrade, but for now, that alarm is something I've been keeping my eye on for the past couple of days. I don't believe it's the assassin, since I've been analyzing the telemetry data and it seems to be taking a parabolic route coming from Beagle Point. Could be one of the members of the Distant Worlds expedition that I read about on Galnet. I imagine quite a few of them might be heading back this way right around now, trying to avoid the core or exploring the arms on their way home. Whoever this person is, up until a few hours ago, they were making a steady pace, but then they stopped moving. Strange thing is that I'm still detecting minor gravimetric distortions coming from that system, as if they're trying to jump but can't. If they somehow damage their drives, I might be able to help. Besides, what else could possibly go wrong, right? Only one way to find out. This is Commander Josh Hawkins, signing off. I hope you enjoyed this installment in the series. If you did, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe.